All right, I'm 6:30 now. I'm just going to give maybe one more minute to see if we get any more. We have 16 participants right now. Oh, we have another person in the waiting room. Okay.
Hey, Gina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got a call from my insurance company from the accident, so I'm gonna have to step out. So
No
I
problem.
may not be able to do the 5-minute or the 15-second, welcome.
Sure, no problem. Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. Okay, we just had another participant join, so maybe we'll give it just one more minute. All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. And then Yuki, if you just see anybody else in the waiting room, if you wouldn't mind admitting them. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about two projects, Franklin Middle School Sports Complex and the Plunge. This is the first of a series of public outreach for these two projects. So thanks for joining us and kicking it off. Just a reminder that this presentation is being recorded. So if you're uncomfortable with that, you can turn off your video. So if you're new to Zoom, if you're not used to the platform, I just wanted to walk you through a few of the functions that we'll be using tonight. There's the stop video, so you can turn on and off your own video. Also, there's the unmute and mute function, so you can click that when you want to speak. And when you do want to participate, we just ask that you raise your hand. So you go to participants, click on that arrow, and then you select the little blue raise hand down here that we have circled in yellow. And then another way that you can participate is through the chat function. So we will be monitoring that for your comments. And if you have any technical issues, please let us know in the chat or by raising your hand. So tonight we're going to be going over the, oh, I see someone else is joining. Okay. So tonight we're going to be just going over who's facilitating and moderating the presentation. We're going to go over the projects briefly. We're going to first focus on the Franklin Middle School complex, talking about the existing conditions, some potential uses that we think could be good for the site, but we'd also like to hear your thoughts on that. And then we're going to stop and have a community discussion. So I'll be taking notes as we hear from you all in the chat or from the video. And then after that, we're also going to do a live survey. And then we'll stop there, pause, and if anybody wants to leave at that point, that's fine, or you can continue to join us for the next presentation, which is the Plunge project. So again, we'll go through existing conditions, potential uses, we'll have a discussion, and then we'll adjourn the meeting. So these are your tonight's facilitators and moderators. My name is Gina Chavez. I'm a landscape architect at RRM Design Group. We are a multidisciplinary design firm. We also have architects. So Mike Scott from our architecture team is joining us tonight. His camera is off to just save on internet, but when he participates, he'll turn it back on. And then we also have Yuki Igarashi, park designer. She'll be helping monitor the chat and some of the participation activities. Also joining us for the Plunge portion of the presentation is Justin Karen. He's from the Aquatic Design Group, and he'll be talking to us about pool designs. And then from the district, from GVRD, we have Gabe Lanous, general manager, as well as Thomas Jew. Gabe, I see you're back. Do you want to give your 15-second intro?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank everybody for their time tonight, especially giving us feedback on what they envision or what they would like to see occur at both sites. Again, there's no hard, fast rules that what we want or have to have there, besides a pool at the Plunge and then sports fields at Franklin. But be creative with your ideas, and sometimes even the crazy ones might end up being a reality. So thank you everybody for their time tonight.
Great. So I'm sure most of you know where the sites are, but just to give you a quick context, we have the Interstate I-80 going through the middle of this map, and you'll see that the Franklin Sports Complex is right off of the I-80, and then the Plunge is a little bit more central to the city of Vallejo across the street from the high school. So just to give you an overview of the Prop 68 funding, it's a statewide grant program for parks and recreation. It's a competitive grant and the deadline is in March. So we're applying for it for both of these projects. And it's a process. So this is the beginning of the process. It involves outreach and design in the first couple of months, and then we'll be preparing the application up until March. So this is an aerial view of the Franklin Middle School Sports Complex, just as it stands today. The yellow dashed line signifies the area of the site that the district, the recreation district, will be taking over from the school district. So the school district functions will still happen on this side of the site. And then the rest of this area, which is made up on, this is almost like two levels really here. This hardscape and these buildings are on the upper level. And then as you go downhill on Star Avenue, you reach the sports fields and these dirt areas. So up on top, we have the theater, a gymnasium, and an auditorium with a kitchen. So these are all buildings that the district will be taking over. There's also the portable classrooms. We're probably thinking that these will go away. There's not much use for them. And then we can use more of this site for recreational uses, as well as most likely some parking. And then down here on this level of the site, we have the existing sports fields. You have some softball, baseball, as well as soccer overlay. And you have a walking loop through here. And then you also have a fairly new restroom and concession building here that we would like to maintain. And then also on the site is the Vallejo Police Activities League over here in the corner. So that just gives you an idea of what's on the site now. Here are some existing photos. So these pictures are of that lower level with the sports fields and the large dirt area. You see some of the bleachers here for the field. This building down here in the lower left-hand corner, that's the new restroom concessions building. And then on the right side, this is, I'm not sure you could call it a ramp. It's not ADA compliant, so we'd have to work on that to get people from the lower end of the site up to the upper end of the site over here. So this is the upper side. This upper left-hand corner is the view from Star Avenue. So looking at those portables over here, and then moving over to the gymnasium. And down here in the lower left-hand corner is the theater. We also have a couple of indoor shots. So that's the theater in the middle on the bottom. In the lower right-hand corner is the nice open gymnasium. So these are, we wanted to include these floor plans in case we need to reference them. So this is the theater as it stands today. It's actually like two sides of the building. So on the left, you have the stage and auditorium, and on the right, you have music rooms and other storage functions. So that's this green box just denotes where it sits on the site today. And then the next building, the upper building here is the gym. This long rectangle here, and the more square building is that cafeteria here. So I'm just actually, where's the kitchen? Oh, here's the kitchen. So the kitchen is up on the north end of the auditorium building. This overhang here, it's almost on the school district side. So just keeping that in mind. So we started to brainstorm some potential uses that could happen on the site, whether it be the upper or lower half. Basketball seems very popular at the site today, so we feel like we might want to maintain that. But we also added in some new types of activities just to consider, perhaps futsal, lacrosse, pickleball, and then also just considering, do we want to maintain softball and baseball on the site? And then in the upper half of the site, looking at potentially having indoor volleyball in the gymnasium, also looking at indoor soccer. This could potentially be in the upper or lower half of the site. Also exploring the idea of an event space. So this could be for luncheons or conferences, even receptions. And then also just looking at creating some sense of arrival on the site so that you're not looking like you're coming into a schoolyard. It's looking more like a pedestrian space. All right, so now we're going to move to our discussion. I'm going to pull up a Google Sheets so that I can take your notes. So this is the part of the presentation where we'd love to hear from you, whether it's in the chat or even we'd love to hear your voice as well. So the first question we have for you is, what existing amenities should be maintained and or enhanced at Franklin Sports Complex? So Yuki, I'm going to ask you if you see any hands or chats to let me know. And I'll be typing as you give us your input. Okay, we have one raised hand, Graham Maley.
Yeah, it's Mel. Don't worry about it.
Sorry about that, Mel.
Yeah,
Graham.
I'm Graham Male. I'm Director of Coaching at Benicia Arsenal Youth Soccer Club. So obviously my interest would be indoor soccer facilities. We've used the fields at Mare Island for a number of years. Our players have enjoyed using the facilities there. So that's what we'd really like to see there. Some good quality indoor soccer fields.
Did you say indoor soccer or indoor and outdoor?
Well, both would be great. Obviously, we have outdoor facilities at the moment. There's no indoor facilities now, Mare Island shut. So the priority out of the two would be indoor, but yeah, both would be fantastic.
Okay. Do you use the fields today or no? You said you use them at Mare Island?
We used to, obviously, before it shut down, yeah. We used to use those every winter, yeah.
Got it, okay. Great.
We also have another raised hand, Mitch.
Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, Mitch Romeo, Assistant Superintendent, Vallejo City Unified School District. So I'm the one working with Gabe and trying to transition this facility over to GVRD and to the Vallejo community. So we appreciate the effort and we hope that it's realized. Just some thoughts regarding amenities. You know, softball and baseball. You know, when I'm older now, and if you haven't noticed, and when I was a kid, there weren't enough baseball fields anywhere in this country because baseball was all the rage. I don't know what's happened to it over time, but it seems like we have several baseball fields across the community. So I'm thinking that another baseball field might just take up square footage when we have other options in the community. So something different. I'm not sure if Vallejo is a lacrosse town. Maybe it is. You know, so I'm not saying we can't be, but I haven't asked. No one's reached out to us if we have a lacrosse field. It's quite dark over there, I know, because I've been around for a while, and so we just want to make sure that it's adequately lit, and that there's adequate parking. Parking is a problem, and then that there's a separation of sorts between the facility, the sports complex, and the district side of the property. And then maybe with, you know, transitional gates, you know, maybe vehicle transition, certainly pedestrian transition between the two sides, but vehicles as well. Should we just, you know, on your yellow dotted line,
Right.
So that's where a fence would go separating them. It just keeps everything a little more secure.
Mhm.
And those are my thoughts.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
I think we have 3 raised hands.
Amanda, would you like to speak?
Yeah, hi, my name is Amanda. I have grown up in Vallejo. I worked for the sports center and I actually live in the community. I live about 10 houses down from the park.
Hmm, nice.
So I used a lot of the fields growing up. And so I like to see the field stay softball, baseball, doesn't matter which one. Maybe get the artificial in. I do like what is that Foley, the combination between the baseball and softball.
Hmm.
The indoor fields would be nice since we just lost the sports center. Other than that, so there's a walking circle on site that
Mhm.
we use a lot, but it's like really rough. And I
Right.
have things to add, but I don't know, like if you want me to say that later or say that now.
So is it related to the existing amenities?
Not really. That's why I can say.
Okay, because we are going to have a couple other questions. So we're going to have a question, what amenities we should consider for Franklin? And then we have a general questions tab. So this is where if you have any concerns or things you want to talk about, we can add it here. So you can do it now. I don't mind switching back and forth.
No, I can wait.
Okay, either way is fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the existing walking circle, the surface is very rough is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, inside the circle and outside it's not really running or walking style.
Right, okay. Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, so we can move on to Rex and we will get to Patricia next. I see that you are raising your hand through chat.
Yes, because I don't know exactly. Can I talk?
Sure, yeah.
We'll go to Rex first. I saw that hand first.
Hi, this is Rex. Question on the, I'm more interested in the basketball courts, the gyms. Will there be any upgrades on those basketball courts?
So indoor basketball.
That's correct.
So that, at this point, nothing has been decided. We're just collecting your feedback on what you would like to see.
Okay.
So is that is an existing amenity, right? The
Yes.
indoor basketball, so you would like, are you saying that you'd like to see that maintained and enhanced?
Yes. And also I'd like to know when will it be available and what are your timelines on this project?
I'll let Gabe chime in on that one. The grant deadline is in March. So we have to have we have to have a conceptual design plan by then to be submitted and considered for the grant money. And then if we're awarded, then it's a different story than if we're not. So Gabe, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, so we plan on, whether or not we get the grant funding, we do plan to work with the school district to basically take over that half of Franklin Middle School. So we do plan to refurbish the flooring and do some other repairs, although the school district kept it in really nice shape, the whole complex, but there's some things that we would like to do. So hopefully the transition occurs maybe February, March, before we even do the application and start on the repairs and making it a little nicer. So hopefully that answers the question about the flooring for basketball. So, but then again, if we do get the grant money, which is going to be quite a large sum from what I'm guessing, we'll make other improvements. Some suggestions were building another gym right next to that one, or I mean, we're letting the community make some suggestions, and hopefully some of them comes to fruition. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for waiting, Patricia.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to Andrea Salvador. She's the one who invited me for the Zoom tonight. I have worked with her last year at the Mary Island complex, and I was the pickleball coach there. So, I was able to do entire program from private lessons to even tournaments at the end. And we were planning to do summer camps for the kids as well. I work for the Benicia, the city of Benicia, with the same program, pickleball, with everything, workshops, clinics, and for kids as well. And I'm very happy to see, because we have lost Marine Complex for the community and everything. So I'm glad to see you guys have been able to find another place. So the community, we see something else, right? Now I would like to know in terms of pickleball, because usually when you go indoors, we use the basketball gym when you do pickleball, and then outdoors, I'm wondering if you guys are doing like multi-sports maybe, or what would be the idea with the outdoors if you guys want to have pickleball there?
So right now, we're just brainstorming. So if you would like to suggest that we have outdoor pickleball, we can add that to the list.
Yes, I would love that.
Okay.
Hi, Gabriel.
Okay.
Okay, and there seems to be some messages in the chat box.
Okay.
Anne says there seems to be a lot of use for the softball/baseball field, but we have had trouble with litter and parking in the neighborhood during and after the games.
Okay.
Thomas says the theater could be a great community theater and center for the theater programs.
Okay, sorry. I'm catching up. I just let someone in the chat admitted someone. So, okay, I need to address the litter and parking issues. And then you said, what about the theater, Yuki?
It could be a great facility for theater programs.
Okay. Theater programs. Okay.
Oh, and I'll cover the rest after Julio. Would you like to speak?
I just want to ensure, and I logged in a little late, so I'm not sure if you guys have already covered this, but I want to ensure that I can do everything on my behalf as far as making sure that one of the biggest thing is soccer within the complex. So how can perhaps myself or soccer fanatics, people that have played at Mare Island, how can we ensure to make sure that we are within the, I guess, the project or within the list of top priorities?
So correct me if I'm wrong, Gabe, but the plan is to keep soccer at the sports complex.
Yeah, that's correct. And not just this outreach, but when we've been working on our 10-year master plan, soccer has come up quite a bit because there's not many soccer fields at all in Vallejo. So we do plan on keeping soccer, and as someone mentioned before, they'd like to see indoor soccer since we lost that. So that's either indoor futsal or expand to same size soccer that we had at Mare Island. So yeah, soccer is definitely on the list.
Okay. Would some of us start a petition perhaps, or anything that we can do from our behalf? Would it be helpful to you guys?
Community input like this, the more people give us input, the stronger the case is, especially for pursuing the grant money to ask for soccer fields, whether they're grass or synthetic and indoor.
Okay.
And we will be posting a survey after tonight so that people who weren't able to attend tonight, I mean, this is a stakeholder meeting, so it's not open to the general public. We will be getting general feedback as well through surveys and other meetings. So there will be more opportunities to participate.
Okay, I'm going to continue with the chat. There's comments about keeping the outdoor basketball courts. They may need to be refurbished. Also, we need some privacy fencing along the back of the property. Neighbors have been complaining about the activity at the property for a long time. The neighbors who back up to the property would like to have privacy. And also homelessness is an issue.
Okay, I'm going to put this under general. Actually, I'm going to go back and do that for this one too. Okay. Why is that so much smaller than the other one? Huh. Weird. Okay, let's see if I just start typing. Okay, so address homeless issue. Okay.
Also, a music recording studio in the theater portion of the complex for teens to record music and self-expression.
Okay, so music recording studio for young.
And then the last comment in the chat box I see is, yes, homelessness has been a big issue on the field and in surrounding buildings. They broke into a vacant house last year. It was a long time getting them out.
So on the fields and then.
And neighboring houses, vacant houses.
Okay. Okay. Anything else in the chat?
Nope, that's all I'm seeing so far.
Okay. Any more raised hands?
Anybody else?
So just moving on then from what existing amenities should be maintained or enhanced at the park. How about new amenities that we should consider for Franklin Middle School Sports Complex? Okay, Amanda has her hand raised, Yuki.
Amanda?
Hello again. I think a dog park should be added. There's a lot of neighbors who walk their dogs, including me, around there. And sometimes they're let go on the field to run free, but I know there's a lot of space. So if we could just, if there was a way to add that into it. We only have one, I think, dog park in Vallejo. That was it.
Great.
Thank you.
There's a comment in the chat box, Gina. Dance room / studio for ballet and classes.
Dance rooms / studios. Oops. For classes.
Okay. Maybe a room for art lessons.
Okay.
And homework location or space for teens to go after school. So like a teen center.
Okay. Area.
Or computer lab.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any raised hands at the moment.
Okay, any other considerations for the sports complex? How about general comments or concerns? Amanda has her hand up.
Hey, Amanda.
I'm sorry. It would be the security issues.
Okay.
On how you would solve, I'm not sure how, if you fence it off during the day, I mean at night, or what kind of security you'd have. And that would be more for like the homeless or.
Okay, maybe
Um,
lighting. That's also security related. Sorry, I added to yours, Amanda. Anybody else with general comments, concerns?
Someone mentioned a space for gardening.
Ooh, okay, so I'm going to put that under potential new uses. Okay. All right, if we don't have any other comments, we can move on to the Slido survey. So we just have a short survey for you. Okay, let me actually go back to the presentation. So I don't know if any of you have used Slido before. It's pretty simple. You use your phone or another device, and you can either type in right in the browser, slido.com, or you can take your phone and select the camera function and then hold the camera up to the QR code on the screen. You don't take a picture, you just hold it up and a pop-up window will come up, and then you touch that and it'll take you directly to the survey. If you use the other method of just typing in slido.com, then it'll ask you for an event code. And then that event code is the pound GVRD01. So we'll just give everyone a few minutes to try that out. And if you have any problems, please raise your hand or send us a chat. I see that Julio might have his hand up.
Yeah, I just had one addition, and once
Sure.
again, I don't know if you guys already covered this, but I don't know if there's even space for a cafeteria within the complex.
Okay, I'm gonna just go back real quick and add that.
So there is the one of the, is my mic on or off?
It's on, yes.
The auditorium has a it does have a cafeteria because that's where the middle school children used to. I guess that was the cafeteria there. So there's a full-blown kitchen. It's I think twice as big as the one we have at Dan Foley Community Center, and so there is that, and you can maybe rearrange it or restructure it. But there is one.
Oh, perfect.
So Julio, would you advocate, you're saying to keep the cafeteria?
Yeah, I think that would be a format of revenue for the city as well, or the complex.
Okay. Right, any other comments? All right, I'm gonna
Hi.
go.
Oh, sorry. My name is Cynthia. Nice. Hi, everyone.
Cynthia.
I did have one suggestion or one new thing that could be probably pretty cool. It's like a rock climbing wall or something, if possible. It's there's not that many out there, and I think it could be a cool thing to just attract more people and show people like a new type of thing they could do.
Yeah, that would be cool. Are you envisioning like an indoor or outdoor rock climbing?
I wasn't. Well, I think either one would be fine, but it might be easier if it's indoor, just due to like prevent weather issues or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
So if you've tried going on to Slido, you will see a practice question. How close do you live to Franklin Middle School? So go ahead and try it out, try Slido out, put in your answer, and you should be able to see the results right away.
So Yuki, do you want me to stop sharing so you can share the Slido results?
Sure. So I'm seeing that there are 6 feedbacks. Most people saying that they're more than half a mile away from Franklin Middle School. There are some people who are saying that they can walk there. So since on our Zoom call, we have 21 participants, I think some of them might be a duplicate. Some people are participating with 2 devices. So I'm just going to wait another moment. We have 11 people voting. Is anybody having any trouble getting onto Slido? Are you able to go on either on your phone or your web browser on your laptop or computer? Okay, let's try moving on to the questions. So these are the discussion questions we just had. What existing uses and or features should be maintained or enhanced at Franklin Middle School? Please select up to 3 that we have discussed. Some of them might be collapsed under a category, as you can see. Okay, so far it looks like soccer fields are very important features to be maintained or enhanced, along with the gymnasium and the auditorium, kitchen, cafeteria building. We're at 10 people, so I'll give it another minute. Also, if there are multiple people on your camera, feel free to join with separate devices. We would love to hear from as many people as possible. Okay, it looks like soccer is the most popular choice, along with gymnasium and the auditorium, kitchen, cafeteria building, as well as the theater. Okay, I'm going to push the next question. What new uses and or features should be considered for Franklin Middle School? Again, please select up to 3. So the soccer, indoor or outdoor soccer fields is the most popular option at the moment, as well as pickleball, dog park, indoor volleyball, indoor event space. They seem to be the top choices. Some of the other options are futsal, recording studio, rock climbing structure, lacrosse, teen space or computer lab, art classroom, gardening, and softball and baseball, which was also included in the existing features. So, okay, it looks like indoor and outdoor soccer is most popular. Okay, and that's it for the Franklin Middle School poll questions. Gina, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so now we'll continue the presentation, the plunge portion of the presentation. Okay, I'm gonna pull the presentation back up, actually. All right. All right, so now hopefully we have some people who are also interested in hearing about the plunge. But again, we're using the same type of funding structure, going after the Prop 68 grant for this project as well. So this is an aerial of the existing site. So you can see that the building is in the upper right-hand corner. And as you all know, I'm sure this has been closed for a while. And then, so you can see on the top half of this shape here is the existing parking lot in the building, but we are also able to expand down into this field and track area beyond the fence. So that's what that yellow line designates. So just some existing photos of what's there now, the existing parking lot up here, the dirt field that we are able to expand into, and then a picture of the existing facility. So we just wanted to get the juices flowing and get the brainstorming going. We want to show a few pictures that the Aquatic Design Group shared with us. These are facilities that they have designed throughout California. So like Gabe said initially, of course, we want to have a pool, but we'd also like to look at incorporating some type of fun family water feature center, which would be separated from the pool, but attract community, all ages of the community. So these are just some ideas that we wanted to share with you. So we're going to dive right back into the live discussion. So I'm going to pull up a Google Sheets again, and we're going to ask for your feedback. Okay, so first question, very similar to the Franklin question: what features, amenities should be considered for the plunge? So again, feel free to raise your hand or type in the chat. Or if you just have some general comments about the plunge, we can go back and forth between those two. And I did see that Justin is on the line, so he's available for any technical questions related to pool centers, pool and family fun centers.
Hi, everyone.
There he is. Anybody have any thoughts about the plunge and what it should be?
I see some comments in the chat talking about water slides and splash pads.
All right.
Also spaces for birthday party rentals.
Mm.
Another is a lap pool.
Any other comments?
Concession stand.
Mm-hmm. Amanda has her hand raised. Go ahead, Amanda.
Oh, all right. So something I did want to add, or some comment I wanted to make. So back in the day, I used to attend Vallejo Middle School when the pool was open. So it was pretty cool that we had the opportunity to, like, during gym, we were able to use the pool. So I think if the pool does come back, it would be nice to allow, like, the high schoolers to also have, like, the aquatics class again, to give them that chance, in case they're not in, like, the swim team or aren't able to make it all the way to Cunningham Pool.
So having an aquatics class that's available to the high school, is that what you're saying? Okay,
Mhm.
great. Yes, Gabe.
So as part of the agreement with the school district, we would still allow, they would still have priority use during school hours and after school for swim competitions. So we're not going to close out the close out the students from using the pool. So it's for the community. Just wanted to add that.
Great.
Okay, and some other comments in the chat box are volleyball area / barbecue, shade structures, play structures, and lazy river.
Hmm. So the play structures, is that like water related? Does anybody want to answer that comment?
I got a yes on the chat box.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And
What about
smaller children's area?
Sorry, Yuki. What'd you say?
Smaller children's area.
The volleyball area, was that like sand volleyball, or is there like an option to have volleyball in a pool?
Yes.
That's water.
Sand.
Sand volley. Okay, got it. Amanda has her hand raised, or is that from earlier?
No, it's a new hand. So another idea is like a lawn area where you can have like picnics or like a party area. Like I know UC Davis has that sort of layout where it's kind of like an open space, still part of the pool, but allows people to be able to like hang out outside the pool. So it could be used for like parties or whatnot.
Yeah. Definitely nice for the moms. I've been there.
A dry place away from the water.
Exactly. Anybody else? Anybody have any general comments about the plunge? General comments, concerns?
This is Mitch. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'm sorry, I was tied up with my boss here for a second. We just had our board meeting. So I'm just logging on now. And I've talked to Gabe about this. Did anybody say anything about water polo depth?
No, not yet.
Because, so I would like to advocate for that. And one of the things that we're looking at when we transition this site over to GVRD is that it would also be used for high school program during the day and for athletics, you know, so programs. And we only have one water, well, two now. Gabe, does Cunningham is water polo depth and beyond, and then Cal Maritime, but we would sure like to have it if it's within budget. It all adds up though, I know, so. You know, just swimming competition is first, and then, you know, water polo would be second.
Okay, swimming competition is the priority.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
There was one other comment about an obstacle course.
That makes me think of that TV show you see on the commercials where they're like going through courses and falling into the water. I'm sure that would be a liability issue. You have to make it not as extreme.
Family-friendly entertainment amenities.
Family-friendly entertainment. Sorry, what'd you say?
Amenities.
Okay, yeah.
Updated changing rooms and private changing rooms.
Yes.
Mitch again. So I've talked to Gabe about this too. We love that building. That building is in great shape. You know, I don't know what it's going to take for ADA, and maybe it's going to be significant, but we would love to retain the building.
Place for outdoor theater for plays or movie nights. And Thomas mentions that that's a great idea for Franklin Middle School.
I was thinking that too. Maybe we could copy that over to that one.
A space for summer camps and retreats.
Okay, so would that be, so this is back to Franklin maybe? Where there's more space?
Yes.
Okay.
This is Gabe again. We do have summer camps at the pool.
Oh.
So there could be an opportunity for kids camps at the pool. I don't know if that's what they meant, but.
Oh, that's cool. Summer camps. That's actually a really good point. I remember our daycare used to take all of the kids at once to the pool to have their swim lessons, but there was like a large area for the kids who weren't in their lessons to hang out. So that seems like that could be a useful thing at a aquatic center. Any other thoughts or ideas anyone would like to share before we move to the Slido poll and then wrap up for the night? All right, I think we can move on to the Slido then, Yuki. I'm going to stop sharing. Or actually, should I pull up the screen?
I can share my screen and go through the steps again.
Okay, great.
I don't believe we have anyone new joining us, but in case you have to log on again, if you already had your web browser from earlier, feel free to just get on the same one. It's the same code. You just go to slido.com, enter this this code GVRD01, or if you have a smartphone, you can use a QR code reader or just put your camera up against this code, and it should bring up a pop-up screen of your Safari or any web browser that you use as default. And right now, if you go on, you will come to a landing page. And I will push the practice question. So as a practice question, we have, how close do you live to the plunge? We might have less people than earlier, so this might be everybody. So most people live more than half a mile away. And again, if you were not able to join, the code is still on this left side, on the left-hand side of my screen. GVRD01 at once you go on to slido.com. Okay, I'm going to push the next question. Did you visit the plunge when it was open? If so, how often did you visit? So we just have 3 options: yes, more than once a month, no, or yes, less than once a month. So more than half of the participants have not been to the plunge. The rest have visited. Okay, 25% of the people have visited more than once a month, and the other 25% said yes, less than once a month. Okay, awesome. That might be everybody, so I'll push the next question. So what new uses or features should be considered for the plunge? Again, please select up to 3. These came out from the discussion we just had. So we have spaces for party rentals, concession stand, lawn area, water slide, splash pad, lap pool, aquatics class, water play structures / lazy river, lawn area, water polo or athletics program. I'm losing track here. Summer camps, smaller children's area, updated changing rooms, sand volleyball area, barbecue, obstacle course, and outdoor theater for plays and movie nights. Okay, so it looks like there's been a tie for a lot of them. Oh, it's moving along. Okay, so top choices are smaller children's area and updated changing rooms. The second most popular choice is, there's been a tie: water slide, splash pad, spaces for party rentals, lap pool, water play structures / lazy river, lawn area, water polo / athletics program. And yeah, that's the second most popular. And also shade structures, summer camps are also among the popular choices. Okay, it looks like we've been having 12 votes for all the questions, and we're at 12. So that concludes our questions. Gina?
Great. Thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna pull the presentation back up. And really, it's just the last slide, which gives some contact information. Sorry, bear with me. Okay. All right. Oops. Oh, sorry, we don't have our email in there. So you can access more information from GVRD's website, and there will also be a survey on there that I think there's an old survey on there right now, but we'll be posting an updated survey on there. And then you can also email me directly or the district. Do we have an email at the district we'd like to use, Gabe?
I'll have to check with staff tomorrow morning.
Okay. My email is gmchavez@rrmdesign.com. I can actually type that in pretty quickly. So if you have any follow-up comments or questions, feel free to email us. And we'll keep you posted as well on what the next steps are in terms of the next meeting. So we'll be having concepts for both of these sites, and we'd like to get your feedback on those as well. So we'll be advertising the date of that meeting, which will likely be in January. We can stick around if anybody else has any questions or comments they'd like to talk about. But other than that, that concludes the presentation, and thank you very much for joining us this evening.